to our fourth practice at First Presbyterian Church of Deerfield, yoga shorts, or mini moving meditations in connection with our Lord. I will use the word him to label God, and hopefully some of you have practiced, have remembered this, that you are always invited to replace that with your own language, such as her. Be kind to yourself. If you are new to yoga, sometimes these classes can be uncomfortable in some ways, so enter without judgment. I invite you to just come as you are and use this as a short moment of your day to tune into yourself and God, whatever that experience might be. So today we'll have a chance to think about and maybe tune our attention to the word Namaste. In yoga, the term is actually slightly misinterpreted and distorted, I think, from how the original intention of it is in India. I believe it's used more as like a greeting, like a hello. I think Western culture has shifted it slightly, but we're going to follow what Western culture uses it as, just from the sake of, I think, the beauty of the idea and the grounding of what the intention is supposed to be from that perspective. So when people or myself say Namaste, it means the light and the goodness in me honors and sees and acknowledges the light and the goodness that's in you. And it's a greeting, it's an acceptance, and it's an awareness of just the beauty that exists in all of us. What a power this word holds to heal many of us, to heal many of the great divisions of the world, to unite people regardless of their culture, their race, their religion, their social, political, or personal differences. Namaste can be seen as a united symbol of honoring one another, just as Jesus has shown us. In Matthew 5:79, it says, "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." In practice today, we'll move through poses that might challenge us, and hopefully you can keep this idea in the back of your mind as an intention of the goodness that exists in me, the light that I put out there in the world. It comes back to me, and it exists in all of us. So we're going to start at the wall today. You can come to stand and go ahead, turn to face the wall. And I've shown this in another class. We're going to work a down dog variation at the wall. So you're going to bring your hands to the wall and just press your hips back behind you. So if there was a wall in front of me, my hands would be pressing into the wall, and I would be just shifting my hips back, pushing my hands into the wall. And really you should feel a nice hamstring stretch right away. It kind of lights up a big stretch for your body. And you can take another couple of breaths there. Start to tune into the practice of lighting up that lightness in ourselves, the goodness, feeling good as we move off the mat into the day so we can see that goodness in others. And then slowly come on off the wall, and you're going to turn to go against the wall. So again, if you don't have a wall space right by you, you can do all of this without a wall, just on your mat too. So we're going to find a little triangle pose shape. You can see how my legs look like a triangle. And you'll take that left arm, doesn't matter really which way you do, but you can mirror me. It stretches as far as it will go. Reach, 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 reach. And then you're just going to touch down anywhere the hand falls and the other arm reaches up. And then if you can lean back against the wall, you should feel a nice stretch into your hip. And this is a lot of work. Sometimes your core muscles are doing a lot of work to support your torso. If it's too much, you can come up a little higher. If it's not a lot, you're welcome to go lower, but we don't want to go so low that we move away from the wall. We want to stay back against the wall. And then we'll come on up and just switch. So now you're going to turn the feet the other direction. My right foot is pointed forward, my left foot's kind of tucked in a little bit, and just do your best, the best you can with your body. You'll reach until you find this triangle pose, opening your chest and leaning back. And here you can press the hand into the wall. If you've got a block, it's actually wonderful when we do this in yoga studios and you have all this wall space, and you can have a block under your hand to give you some support, but the wall can do that work here too. And here's where you're feeling this side body stretch. Utthita Trikonasana is the name of the pose. I won't say names of poses here. My husband likes to make fun of them. He makes up his own variations of them. Better to just stick with feeling it in your body. Come all the way back up to the center. Spin to face the middle and walk your feet a little closer together, and then walk your feet a little further from the wall. So if you're just on a mat without the wall, you're going to find a forward fold. If you're using the wall to try this out, you'll fold forward here over the legs, and maybe your fingertips can touch the floor. Maybe your hands are in blocks, or maybe you're pushing into a chair, and you'll push your hips back into the wall. And this is another hamstring stretch. And you're going to stay here and breathe. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your feet rooted into the ground. Take another deep breath. And you can slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. We'll take another standing pose at the wall. Back to that tree pose we did the last class. Here you can play around a little bit more with form. So you'll ground into your left foot, and your butt's actually against the wall. So you've got a little support, and you're going to bring your right foot up. Maybe you can go a little higher since you have the wall to lean into. And then play around. What happens a lot for people, even if your foot's on the shin, maybe it's a toe on the ground, you kind of start to lean over to your left. So we're going to try to move the weight so it's more toward the inner leg line. So your left hip bone is lining up a little bit more with your left inner leg. And the hands at the wall are giving you that ability to support yourself and do that. And you can feel the difference between when you had the pose standing without the wall support. The weight usually dumps into the hip and maybe into the outer leg. Here, that inner leg line is zipping in and up, trying to work a little more to support you, which is more what we want the pose to do. Good. We'll switch into the other side. Ground your foot. Bring the other leg up. And again, the hip wants to move out to the right. So take a few breaths and challenge yourself. See if you can shift a little more inward as you press thighs back. And you can, again, use that wall for support. Keep breathing. Go ahead, one more deep breath. Nice. And then you'll find a seat on your mat. So you can move away from the wall, come all the way down to a seated position. And then take the arms up to the sky, and you'll bend the right elbow and reach behind the back like you're trying to clasp your hands. Most of us cannot find a bind here. This is a lot of shoulder mobility. So you can grab your elbow instead with your left hand and just draw it in toward you. And you'll feel that opening into your tricep muscle. And we'll let it release and switch to the other side. Take the left arm up, bend the elbow. Maybe look for that bind behind your back. Draw your rib cage back. And if you can't find the bind like most of us, grab your elbow, relax your face and shoulders, and breathe. Go ahead and gently release the arms to the ground. Take your hands and walk them in front of you. You'll find a forward fold.
And this should feel like a stretch into your hips. The shoulders want to creep up by your ears. Try to move them down your back, relaxing the shoulders. And then come on up and we'll switch. Take the other leg over and on top. So you have the opposite cross leg. This is called Sukhasana in yoga. Walk the hands forward and stretch the hips back. It's also called crisscross applesauce if you are a preschooler or maybe a kindergartner. It is no longer called Indian style pose for many reasons. However, Namaste might relate to that in some way. That we are consciously tuning into that light that we have in ourselves, that it exists in others. And we send and work toward that goodness for us all. And then slowly come on up from here and swing the legs around so they're straight in front of you, and you can lower down one vertebrae at a time all the way down onto the mat. And then you'll hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze, feel that release into your spine. Good, and take the left leg straight in front of you. Take the right knee over, across, and let the right arm open out to the side. And you'll feel a really wonderful stretch here for your low back and your hips. Soften into breath. We'll switch to the other side. Bring it back through to the center. Take the left knee, cross it over, let the left arm get heavy, and build that breath to feel the depth of the pose. One more strong. Inhale and exhale. Bring it back through to the center. Plant the feet, straighten those legs, and let your palms face up. We'll move into a meditation here on our back. If you choose to be seated instead, you are welcome to find a seat. If it's okay for you to stay on your back, let those palms face up. Let the feet just gently flare apart so the body can find some full release here into the earth. And feel the inhale and the exhale of your breath rising and falling. We're going to close practice with a loving kindness meditation, very similar to a mantra. So take another inhale, let out an exhale. Repeating in your mind, may all beings everywhere be happy, healthy, and free. Breathing in, may all beings everywhere be happy, healthy, and free. Letting it out. Breathing it in, may all beings everywhere be happy, healthy, and free. And breathing it out. Find a few more rounds, maybe repeating this in your mind. Feeling that strong light that exists within you, sending that light out into the world as you exhale. That is the light that God has put inside all of us.
and may we be able to shine it more clearly on others. Gently begin to move just enough. Feel that light inside yourself, the place where God exists. Hugging knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze and coming up to a seat whenever you feel ready. And now you know, as you come to the top of your mat and the hands come to the heart center, Namaste is again acknowledging, greeting, sending that beautiful light, love, goodness that exists within each person. May we be really present, God's gift of giving this to us, that we may bring it out into the rest of the world. Namaste.